So honestly, we have multiple candidates for best action adventure game of 2023, such as Marvel Spider-Man 2, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and even Metroid Prime Remastered, which even though it was a pretty good game, it definitely got overshadowed this year because of the other games I just mentioned that came out. Marvel Spider-Man 2 appeals to a more broad audience. And what I mean by that is it appeals to, Marvel fans, Spider-Man fans, people who are young adults who are interested in superhero based action adventure games. And Marvel Spider-Man 2 so far has had nothing but good reviews for the most part. A lot of people would agree that it's better than the first game, the storyline, the presentation, the fact they can play as Peter Parker and Miles Morales in that game are all strong positives. And I feel that it's one of the reasons why it ended up, being better than the first game that we got. And the first game from 2018, which was the prequel, was considered a masterpiece by many people. And a lot of people would even put that game above Batman Arkham City from 2011. And I think so far it's like sold like 5 million copies worldwide, but Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, I believe that did like over 20 million copies in terms of worldwide sales. And honestly, I'm not quite sure whether or not Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to surpass that, but it looks like it's off to a good start. And a lot of people, including myself, are expecting the sales for Marvel Spider-Man 2 to skyrocket this coming holiday season. And then you look at The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That game, I believe, was released sometime around. Actually, no, it came out a few months ago, I believe. I think it came out like in like September or something. So far, that has done like almost 20 million copies in terms of sales. And that in of itself is crazy. And then if you go online and you look at its like Metascore, it's really high. I mean, it has like a higher Metascore than a lot of like top games from this year. If you look at Metacritic, I think its Metascore is like 96, while Marvel Spider-Man's like Metascore is like 90. And some people probably think that's unreasonable, but at the same time, the Legend of Zelda series appeals to casuals. I mean, the series has been around forever. Um, Even though it's more like, you know, geared towards like children and all that stuff, I feel like the games were more created now for young adults because it seemed like I don't know, it seems like the Zelda games of the past like decade or so have been way more difficult than the older ones. And I wouldn't say that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is as memorable or won't be as memorable as Ocarina of Time, but at the same time, the presentation, the gameplay, the atmosphere, the activities, and all that stuff in Tears of the Kingdom are all amazing. And I don't think that game has yet surpassed Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it hasn't surpassed Breath of the Wild in terms of sales. Like Breath of the Wild from 2017 did over like 31 million in terms of sales, and that game came out like 6 years ago, and like for the most part, it looked like Tears of the Kingdom has the potential to surpass Breath of the Wild, and um, and I'm not quite sure whether or not Nintendo's going to be able to make another Zelda game that can top this one, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that's a game that I feel like it should have been a big deal, but between all of the high profile games that came out this year and all the controversy that Ubisoft has been involved in, it seems like the game kind of just I don't know, it just got overshadowed in general, and it's not as big of a deal as it should have been. In fact, I think its Metascore is like somewhere in the 70s. Um, so I'm not exactly sure whether or not Assassin's Creed Mirage is is going to be considered like the top action adventure game of 2023. In fact, a lot of people feel like some of the other like Assassin's Creed games that came out, like Origins and Valhalla, those were better than what we got with Mirage. But it really depends on who you ask. But but as far as best action adventure game of 2023 is concerned, as far as third party video games are concerned, I would probably say Marvel's Spider-Man 2. As far as Nintendo in general is concerned, it'd have to be Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.